Hello, everybody, and welcome
Hello.
to a super spooky day in Waterdeep Dragon Heist. The spookiest thing of all is that Barry doesn't have a Halloween. That's spooky.
You're spooky.
Australia is too
When is
spooky.
Halloween?
5 Me. Tomorrow's Wait. Oh shit! No, technically for you
Having
it is
fast?
Halloween.
It is Halloween. Sucked in.
Wow. Okay. So even though we don't get you don't get a Halloween, you're still celebrating it spookier than we are because you're already living the dream, and that is a-okay with me. So
Dream.
last week on another wonderful session of Waterdeep Dragon Heist with these fine people. You guys had all successfully cleaned out the bar. You had met, after having met with Lord Rainier Neverember, and actually got all of the funding that you needed to start fixing up your house, your manor, as it were. So you began the process of fitting it out as a multitude of guildsmen, all carrying signs of "Do Not Serve" with Wolf's face on it, arrived at your house, which Hubris had a right good time with. As you guys continued throughout your days, Ghost decided to go out hunting late at night, followed up with Wolf, where you guys went to the Holy Hand's house, and Wolf found himself 4 coins heavier in the pockets. Next up, we had Hubris, who had been going out at night to the dock ward after purchasing a set of thigh-high leather boots from the shop called the Trusty Soul, a boot store worn by a creature of questionable origins, as Hubris did not roll high enough to realize it was a furbolg. But during Hubris's time out at night, he heard what sounded like a gunshot, and then heard guards describing it as a second thunder. And as he went back for the second night in a row, he actually got a decent glimpse at the current terror of the dock ward, which was what looked to be a shadowed figure, came up, stabbed a half elf through through the back out the front, and then seemed to almost fly off. Hubris decided to follow him up onto the roof, where you ended up pursuing him for a good 20-25 minutes before you realized that you had kind of you had lost track of your target within the rain and just the heavy obscurity of a night in Waterdeep. And thinking to yourself that you would descend from this place, you actually slipped and fell off the roof, where you landed right in front of Ghost, who was currently out tracking somebody, on the night that you said that you would for sure definitely try and make it back for dinner. So that is where Ghost met you. You guys exchanged a few words before you decided to start returning back towards Troll Skull Manor. And as you are all making your way, as you two are making your way to Troll Skull Manor, and Ghost gives you this, does not turn from just standing and kind of says, "All right, come on," for you to follow. Hubris, that's when you and Ghost both see another flash of lightning above you, followed by a roll of thunder, but in the midst of that thunder, you both can hear a sharp cracking sound.
Fuck.
Was that?
Yeah.
Which way did it come from? Should I roll?
Yes, if you would both like to make perception checks, you definitely can.
Okay. 8.
Okay.
Fucking plus 6.
Oh, let me actually pull up Hubris's sheet on D&D Beyond.
Using our awesome D&D Beyond extension. So again, thank you D&D Beyond for making this. So that way all of you viewers can check in real time spell slots and health points being used. So in case we get somebody that drops to 0 like we did last night.
2.
2. All right.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so you guys...
I'm not wise.
You hear that kind of cracking noise, but then as you kind of turn around, you think to yourself, "Oh, what was that?" you actually see that there is just a piece of roof tile that seems to kind of give way and just clatters onto the ground, and the ceramics shatter in front of you. And you look up on the roof and you don't see anybody there, but it is rather laid out. It is rather dark.
I give chase.
Oh, I'll follow.
Can I? How high are the roofs?
They were 20 feet up.
Okay. Okay. I am going to. What does the alleyway look like that we're in? Are we on the street?
Yes, you guys were on the street, and you were walking for quite some time before this kind of event occurred, and you are past the market district now. But the alleyway the roof and the alley that you are currently standing near looks like it has I want to describe them as like Mario jump hallways, where they're very tight, but you could possibly parkour your way up onto the roof if you had the decks for it, or you could try and either find a series of boxes to kind of give you an additional leverage up onto the roof itself.
If I give, if Ghost gives me that look, I'll run to a wall and then do the prop
Boost
thing,
up?
the boost up.
Okay, I'm gonna try and do that and grab on and pull myself up.
Okay, make a athletics or acrobatics check with advantage because you have a friend currently popping you up.
Ooh, that is a 23.
Yeah. So yeah, very easily it is. As Hubris pops you up, you grab your hands on the side of this roof and just easily pull yourself up. We're to the point where like your clothes didn't even really touch the side wall of this. It was very much just a furthered momentum as you made your way onto the roof. So
I'm
you
gonna scramble up after her with acrobatics.
okay. Yeah. So make a investigation check really quick.
Would I be perhaps chasing a fae and or undead and or if it is one of those things, I get to roll at advantage, right? If I'm trying to follow it. Well, that is a survival check.
Yes. So
Okay.
Hubris, let's have you roll an investigation check so that way you can spot a relatively easy or safe place to kind of make this jump/climb onto the roof.
Nice. 20.
Yeah.
Not natural.
All right, so yeah, looking around, you actually find some boxes that have been stacked up in such a way that it won't really take you a check to climb up them and hop onto the roof. You're going to be about 10, 15 feet away from where Ghost is climbing up this way, but it's a non-issue to get up there.
Okay.
And then you wanted to make a survival check. What are you...
Well, if I need to see it first, so I should probably investigate or something.
This would be a perception check. As you are currently up on the roof, this will be at disadvantage, though, because the rain is heavily obscuring your vision.
Okay. And I only have one eye.
Hasn't stopped you before.
Two
Oh,
eyes.
son of a bitch. That's a 10.
Yeah, so just looking around, you don't really see much of anything in the darkness. And you, and from what you can tell, you actually hear the sound farther off towards the dock ward of what sounds like bells being rung.
Where did the tile fall?
The tile...
Did the gunshot sound close?
No, the gunshot sounded very far away. Probably... It sounded like it came from roughly about a mile off.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Waterdeep is 3 miles wide.
Yep.
Or 3 miles long, not wide.
Would it be possible for us to travel via roofs back to the docks?
It would be difficult, but it could be done.
Okay.
But yeah, with the bells that were being rung as well, you know that these would be guard, bells of the guard.
Okay.
But yeah, you guys would be able to maneuver your way through all of this.
Yeah, I would like to get back that way just so I could, if something makes its escape via the roofs, we can be close to it.
Okay.
So I'd like to head back that way.
Okay, make a survival check as you make your way across the rooftops of Waterdeep, as you are not accustomed to seeing the city from this angle.
Okay. That is definitely cocked.
It's kicked.
Yeah. Ooh, that's way better. That's a 25.
Oh, snap. Yeah. So cities are just very condensed. Like, forests are harder to actually manipulate your way through, as you see that there are trees that kind of just like grow up wherever. But in a city, there's actual planning and structure that's been made. And you guys have actually lived in Waterdeep for a little bit over a year together, at least. So as you are making your way, you actually are able to quickly navigate through these streets. And it takes you guys a good 20 minutes again to make your way back to the dock ward, having to really kind of second guess where your footing is at some points, because again, the rain is so heavy, and there are parts where you have to climb down and then climb back up again, but you do make your way to the direction of where this occurred.
Okay, so I'm gonna motion for Hubris to stay low, and I'm just gonna kind of try to scan to see if I can see anything.
Okay. Make a perception check.
And you can do that too if you want to look, but
No, sure.
I'm assuming. Sorry.
Oh.
14.
17.
Okay. So yeah, the two of you scanning around, your attention gets drawn to the hooded lanterns that the guards are currently holding amongst themselves, while standing over what looks to be a body lying on the ground. And they have a blanket over this form, but you can see that there is just a steady pool of red that seems to be coming from this body that is now going into a nearby gutter. And looking down at it, you can see where the blanket meets the shoulders and then kind of sinks down to the ground, like wherever this creature's head was, it is no longer on the body.
Ugh.
Nothing on the rooftops that we can see?
No, you guys don't see anything on the rooftops, though.
You said there was another murder tonight.
Well, another one besides this one.
Perhaps we should stay a while.
Okay. I mean, if you want, just saying.
So we're gonna hunker down, try and get next to a chimney or something so we can be
out of the
obscured.
rain.
Yeah.
Make
Try and listen in.
Make an investigation check.
Okie dokie.
Okie doke.
Ooh,
6.
17.
Okay, so yeah, Hubris, you kind of lean up against a chimney, and now at least you aren't getting rain from all directions hitting up against you. But Ghost, you kind of see him doing this, and you roll your eyes and you point over to what is clearly a crossing points between roofs that's actually very near where this scene occurred. So you motion for him to follow over, and now you two are set up in this very dry space. It's very tight. There's barely enough room for the two of you to actually be in there together, but at least it's dry.
Okay.
So I would like for both of you to make perception checks as you guys are above this small crime scene.
18.
Okay, so 18, 17?
Sorry, 16.
16.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys are all like listening in on this conversation, and you hear one of the guards is generally feeling very spooked by this whole matter. He sort of seems to be he's more tense about the stories that he's heard about whatever it is that's actually happening here. He said he very nervously says to the other guard, "I don't know. Some of the people that have seen him have just seen, well, he stabs people, and then he just flies away, and that seems like it's a job for the Magister. So if the Magister's Guild isn't taking care of this, then that's really above our pay grade." And you see the other one just sort of like slap him in the chest and be like, "Have some decency! A man's died." No, but I do agree that this does seem more in line for the Magisters. If they were just shitty Zents or Zants or any of those other fuck-up guilds, and it wouldn't be that bad, but these are just people. And then they both kind of have a moment of silence, just like looking down at this body that is just kind of bleeding out onto the ground. And then the one that had spoken first just sort of like shakes himself a little bit. Just, it's grisly is what it is. If ever something like this happens to me, promise you'll go into my house and burn the red book I have on my shelf. And his buddy just slowly turns to him. Oh, is it like cult worship or something? No, it's just kind of porny, and I'd rather people not actually find it. And they both have a little chuckle to themselves as then you see just a as a man bald in head that you recognize as the captain of the guard that had actually come to the rescue of Rainier after you guys had. Is currently just sort of looking over the scene of the crime, and he lifts up the sheet, and you can just see that there is what looks to still be neck, lower jaw, and then just sloped back nothingness. And he just sort of shudders and puts it down and just get him out of here, and motions to the body. And they just, "Yes, sir," and they just seem to like pick up arms and legs, and as they do, you see that there is a small cart kind of being drawn forward, and there is a man who looks like he is in the employ of the city guard, but around his neck you see that he has what looks to be a necklace with a small set of golden scales that are being held up by a skeletal hand, and he comes over with a cart, and the two guards set this body onto the cart, and this man just nods, and then they start escorting the cart off as all of this group of guards then disappears from the scene, just sort of leaving the remnants that were still on the ground, just this large pool of blood that steadily begins to wash away with the rain.
Bring out your dad. Sorry. Well, this is fucked.
Indeed.
Can I make a history check to see are guns readily available in Waterdeep or in this world, in this setting?
Yeah, you can make a history check on that.
16.
You would know that this is, like, you aren't sure what it is that's causing this. You know that it seems similar to your Hexblade's weapon, but as far as you were really aware, yours was like a one-of-a-kind deal. It doesn't seem like it's, like, this is very common. You haven't had the opportunity to, like, other Hexblades that you have heard of, like, if they're a short sword user, have the ability to, like, swap out short swords eventually, but you've just been stuck with your basic model Hexblade weapon for quite some time, as you, again, just haven't seen anything like this ever before. So you're fairly certain that a second gun seems very, very, very far-fetched, but almost more like what this is turning out to be.
Let's regroup back at the house.
You don't think he'll come back out?
Not unless there's another elf or half-elf walking around.
Why would it hate elves?
Don't know, but whatever killed the first guy shouted something in Elven.
Do you know what he said?
I can remember it vividly as I flip through my notebook. Do you speak Elven?
I do.
He said, Daros has Elion?
Which translates to die, half-elf.
Oh.
Oh,
He's going after half-elves. Because he hates half-elves. Some of pure blood wish to ratify and kill all half-breeds.
clean up the gene pool. Got it.
Would you like to stay or should we go?
I mean, that's really on you. I've gotten all the information I need for tonight. Yeah, let's get back to Troll Skull.
Can I make some sort of history check to see if I know a guild or a religious order that follows these rules to the letter, that half-breeds should be killed?
Make a history check.
That's a nat 20.
Okay. So you would know that most people generally they're either it's usually more on the fence when it comes to half-orcs, as elves and humans, they've coexisted and cohabitated for thousands of years at this point, and never has it really been it has been a point of contention among half-elves because they never know what side of the family that they really lie on. But as far as like a religious order that is out to purify and remove themselves of half-breeds, the only one that you are really familiar with is the cult that had tried to take out your family and did not succeed because it was both you and your sister who survived. But as far as based on a more racial profile and not just the gene pool has been mixed, it must be cleansed. But on also a racial profile, you know that there is a lot of tension between the surface elves, the wood elves, the high elves, the Eladrin, as well as the drow. So you are not very you would believe that this kind of seems more along the lines of the cult, but kind of piecing together some of the things that you've heard. You know that drow actually have innate magical properties, which might explain why this character was able to come up, stab somebody, and then seemingly float away. Is that this is more lining up to be more along the lines of a drow racial hatred than it is a religious hatred.
Okay. Do you know of anywhere that there are an abundance of drow?
History check?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Welcome
Drink
to
your
the
water, Endor.
Yes, welcome to the Indoor Adventure stream, where we roll history checks at least 5 times an episode.
5 times in a row.
Yeah.
I got 15.
All right, so with your 15, you would know that Waterdeep exists over this subterranean undercity called Skullport that is many, many, many miles underground. But as far as there being a very quick hop, skip, and a jump from the Underdark to the surface world, there isn't really anywhere around here that's that close other than Skullport.
I mean, there's always Skullport, but
Nobody goes there.
nobody goes to Skullport. Have you seen the Yelp reviews?
You think he'll kill again tonight?
I mean, we could always... He's been striking primarily. Well, they've been striking primarily in the dock ward. So, if anything, we could stake it out for the rest of the night and see if anything floats, sticks.
Okay.
At least we'll be in good company. Eyebrow wiggle.
And again,
I
you guys are maybe like this far away from each other.
I accidentally step on his tail.
Okay.
Not looking at him at all. Just
Okay.
looking out. Keeping a wary eye on the horizon.
All right. So yeah, you guys make another set of perception checks as the night draws on.
Whew. It's a
23.
19. Oh.
I have +6. Sorry.
No.
Okay, so what'd you get, Ghost?
23.
So with your 23, and Hubris, what'd you get?
16.
All right, so you're kind of looking out. Yep.
19, sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. So 23 and a 19. So you guys are just kind of peeking out from this nice dry spot. And as you are, you see the rain kind of beginning to let up. As you can kind of see that there is dawn on the horizon. You guys have actually spent most of your night just in this small little cramped area, just sort of watching, waiting, listening, seeing if you hear that second sharp thunder sound that always seemed to have followed lightning. But the thunder itself and the lightning had passed by Waterdeep several hours ago, and so any lightning that you would have been hearing would have been far off. And you get the feeling like the sound of this gun would have been much more noticeable now that all of that's distanced away. And as you are, and as you're kind of just like staking this spot out, you see that there are now multiple people that sort of seem to be like climbing on top of the roofs. And from where you are, you can see that some of them have very ratty looking clothes and are like slowly approaching a sleeping seagull that's on top of a roof, just like trying to grab at it. And you see that there are several people as well that look like they have passed out on a rooftop. As you see that there is just like an empty bottle of some kind of alcohol that is just spilled, and they're just completely drenched, having passed out on a rooftop. And you see that there is one figure that is just kind of nimbly jumping from roof to roof to roof. And Ghost, with your 23 perception, you see what looks to be a humanoid, a female humanoid figure, light skin, wearing what looks to be a reddish mask over their eyes, as well as a red hood above their head, with a rapier off to their side, and they just sort of seem to be running the rooftops towards more towards the castle ward.
Is that what you saw?
No, creepier. A lot less nimble, more flighty, more cloaky too.
Perhaps it's someone up to no good.
You mean like we are?
Let's go back.
Yeah, and you guys are definitely feeling tired at this point. You've stayed out all night, having not slept. So by the time that you manage to actually stealth your way down from the roof and make your way to Troll Skull Manor, it is getting to be about 7:30 in the morning, and as you approach, you can actually hear the sound of Kronk in his training room, just going to town upstairs. And Kronk and Wolf, you are a very, very light sleeper, as comes with the 22 passive perception. So you have kind of woken up with Kronk and are currently just like You can either be watching Kronk, you could have gone downstairs, you could have went out to grab breakfast. But looking around, both you and Kronk both noticed looking around that Ghost and Hubris did not come back last night. Or seem to be gone from the general vicinity.
This is gonna be fun.
Hmm?
Do you think Hubris's chair lays out? Reclines?
That'd be cool. I've never seen a chair like that.
I don't think they would have got much sleep last night either.
Yeah, and Ghost and Hubris, what are you guys doing? Are you going to the bottom floor or the top floor?
I'm walking ahead as much as I can, and I'm gonna go straight to my room.
Okay.
To our room.
Oh, Hubris was following, scratching the back of his head, and before she headed up, he kind of grabbed her by the wrist. Listen, I know I can't say or do anything that'll make it up to you for fucking up this badly, but I really am sorry.
Well, maybe you'll learn from this.
Okay. Just dejectedly lets her hand go. Kind of turns and walks into the bar.
Okay. So yeah, and Hubris, when you go to walk into the bar, you see that there was a table that had been set up with what looked to be a dinner for two kind of situation, where the candles have all just burned down to the very bottom and have kind of pooled out. And you can see that one of the chairs is actually still kind of pulled out, while the other had been pushed in. And then as you take a deep sigh, you see the chair push itself in as Lif has pushed the chair.
Thank you, Lif. And he'll go about cleaning it up.
Okay. And then Kronk and Wolf, you guys are still upstairs, and that is when you see the door open for Ghost, who still is kind of wet from having spent most of the night out in the rain. And while you did manage to stay underneath a relatively dry place for a long enough period of time, it was dry enough. It wasn't a 100% cover kind of situation. So you were still very cold, very not in the best mood. And Wolf, you just see that Ghost, her clothes are just kind of soaked down, just fuming.
Right. Hey, you're alive.
Of course I'm alive. Interesting. We'll have to talk about it. Kronk, may I speak to you privately for a moment?
Always.
Sorry, Wolf.
I get it. Everyone hates me.
I just don't trust you.
How am I not trustworthy? Can I find somewhere where I can eavesdrop?
I'm going to lead Kronk back to our room.
Okay. So, I would like for Wolf to make a stealth check as you follow them up.
I get to roll my die.
Woo!
That is a dirty 20.
Nice.
Woo!
So, Ghost, I would like for you to make a perception check.
Better fail.
Oh, I got a nat 1.
Yeah, so Wolf, you are able to put yourself into a position where you can hear everything that's going on.
So, Kronk, you know when I do my claw things, right?
Yeah.
So I did it last night, and you know how it's normally ice.
Frost. It was cool.
Cold, yes. They were fire.
Well, is that because of your eye?
I guess. I don't know. It kind of freaked me out internally. But turns out it was hubris that I was threatening, and then I was even more angry, and
Kronk's face, gets all muscle wrinkled.
So, you punched Wolf, and now you're threatening Hubris?
Well, okay. Hubris fell off of a roof. He was disguised as someone else. I didn't know it was him, so fell down. I pinned him down, and he was already there, so I started to try to rob him, and I found Hubris's gun, and Hubris revealed himself.
Right. That's how you knew it was him.
Yes. Yes. So, no, I didn't threaten Hubris. I threatened someone who I thought was someone else.
He deserved it.
You're right. He shouldn't have been sulking around. Anyways, Hubris is performing missions for the Zents without telling us. I was not very pleased when I found that out. And we happened to come upon another murder of a half-elf. It seems that there are what I can assume to be some sort of drow faction or individual going out and killing half-elves.
Because the drow
Yes.
don't like him. Got it.
And he or she was using a gun. Like what Hubris has.
I've never seen one before, so that's pretty crazy.
I know. So that's everything up to speed. We tried to stake out the area, but the storm had moved on, and they were using the storm because you know how his gun makes a really loud sound?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I know. But they were masking it with the sound of thunder so that no one else would hear it.
Real smart.
So I was up all last night, so I'm going to take a long nap.
All right. I'll keep quiet.
Okay. Well, whatever you got to do. Can you just the builders should be by again today. So just keep an eye on things for me, and if you can give Hubris a cold shoulder today, that would be nice as well.
All right.
All right.
And so
Thanks,
in
buddy.
Kronk's head, he's like, okay, how do I perform that? Thinking of,
Yeah.
like on the gladiatorial pit, how you would, snuff someone. So he's gonna work.
Be a little bit more specific because he might just axe Hubris.
He does have a hand axe named Cold Shoulder.
Cold shoulder.
Oh, that's true. you know what I mean, right? Don't kill him.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay, all right. Fair enough.
I got a 10 intelligence.
I know. That's why I love you. All right,
All right.
I'm going to go to sleep now. So
And before Kronk walks away, he takes his cloak, this big velvet, gladiator cloak, and he throws it on the bed as like an extra blanket over top of the other blankets.
Aww.
And then
nice. Snuggle.
and he lumps out, and then as he's lumping out, he tries to walk quietly.
The Hulk trying to sneak.
Yeah. Exactly.
So there's also a thing that I wanted to bring up during your conversation, but I wanted to wait until the end of it, which was Wolf. Hubris last told you that he had not been contacted by the Zents yet, and you just heard Ghost saying...
I know.
Yes.
I know.
So,
So
did you
I want to go
at
down
that point?
to the bat.
Yeah, that is what I assumed was
I'll
going
wait
to happen.
until the end bit because I wanted to get all the information.
Yeah. So
I
yeah,
waited until I
you.
heard about the drow and the half elves.
Yeah. So
But
you
now
head
we're
out,
gonna have a little fun. Where's my buddy?
and then Hubris, you are currently cleaning the barn. About 10 minutes go by, and that is when you hear what sounds like a confident thud into the door, followed by "Son of a bitch!" As then the door handle kind of jiggles open and is forced open, and you see Wolf making his way into the bar. As the door seemed to have jarred itself specifically for him entering into the house.
Oh, something new. Glad to see you haven't learned any new tricks, Casper. Hey, buddy.
Hey.
You owe me 2 candles, and heads up, Ghost is pissed at you.
I knew about the latter part. The former part. Yeah, I'll get back to you on that.
They cost like 5 gold each, so if you give me 10 gold.
Whoa! Why are you buying 5 gold candles?
I'm not. They're just worth 5 gold when you waste them. So what you end up doing last night, instead of coming back to this fantastic romantic dinner that I had organized, and I'm pretty certain Ghost even went and got all dressed up and all fancy for you. Like, you seriously fucked up. Yeah. So where were you?
Hubris just like takes whatever plate and stuff he has, puts it on the bar, lifts himself up, and sits on the counter and like puts his hand on his head.
And Wolf, you see Hubris wearing what looks to be a black pea coat, thigh-high leather boots, a very, very basic set of brown pants.
Would you believe me if I said I was being a prostitute last night? I'm joking.
I could have believed it, but...
So, last night, Ghost and I were down in the dock ward, hanging out.
Ghost was here. Ghost was here last night.
No,
You weren't.
She stormed out. Well, she was out in the street after what time?
After you stood her up.
Yeah. I haven't been totally forthcoming with all of you when...
The cross-dressing?
Yes, the cross-dressing. You see, I sometimes fancy myself quite the elegant woman, and...
Don't.
Listen, one of your friends swung by the bar 2 nights ago.
See, I've got like 3 friends right now.
No, I mean
one
like...
of them lied to me. One of them punched me in the face. And one of them's just Kronk, okay?
Oh, wait, Ghost punched you in the face. Okay, sorry.
You saw that, Casper, the first day here.
Oh, right. Okay, so... One of the Zent... The serpent assholes swung
One
by
of
the
you.
bar.
Or one of us, really.
What? You got kicked out.
No, I didn't. They thought I was dead. I'm still a
Same
member.
difference. Anyway, one of those assholes swung by, asked me to patrol the dock ward and see what's ganking their half-elf / elven brethren and sisters.
And let me guess, you failed.
No, I found...
Who's doing it?
I don't know, some...
You failed. I don't know means I failed.
Well, I have a lead. At least.
Where?
Dock ward, dumbass.
That's...
Listen, there is definitely something humanoid fucking up elves and half-elves in the dock ward.
Why do they choose you?
I don't know.
Like, you suck at tracking.
I know. They think
So
I'm a
why did
god
they
at tracking. I don't know.
How?
They have this misconception that I'm just some god at like information gathering, but no, I'm a pretty face who's fucking up really badly right now.
Like, you got one part of that right.
I'm a pretty face?
No.
No.
So now, what, you just went and searched last night with Ghost?
Yeah, we just.
So you kind of, the one person who you stood up, which you really care about, you took into the middle of a Gentarum.
But to be fair,
where someone's killing. Is it elves and half elves, or just half elves?
I've been told elves and half elves have been dying.
So if you're being followed because you suck at tracking, they now know that someone else.
Well, duh. They already know there's like 2-3 other people.
And at that
Yeah,
point, you hear the door open up, and it's Kronk walking in, having properly tucked a Ghost in, and now, because Kronk, you were just waiting for the builders to come in the morning, so that way you could be their greeting person. But I just will get a few drinks in.
That asshole Sarash.
Morning,
Do I know
fellas.
who this one is?
Nice.
Morning, Kronk.
Walk through towards the kitchen.
Hi, the big guy.
Oh yeah, he's been instructed to give you the cold shoulder, not the weapon.
Oh, okay. Thank God. Thank gods.
Yeah, I still may ask him.
Right. Anyway, Seraph, whatever the fuck his name was.
Do I know this guy?
Make a history check.
Oh, let's roll my dice again. Oh, that's not good. 5.
Yeah, you have no idea because Hubris is currently giving you like 9 different names.
This half orc bastard. He just came through and mentioned Kronk, so they definitely know there are people. So don't play me with this, oh, now they know. They've always known.
You hear Kronk fumbling around in the kitchen.
Kronk, you okay? I know you're trying to give me the cold shoulder, but grunt once for yes, grunt twice for no. Oh, God. He gets up, walks to the kitchen.
Where's our cook? I'm hungry.
We don't have a cook.
Kronk just looks left and right.
Yeah, there is no real food stores or much of anything.
And Kronk's been eating his rations out of his pack. So
We've been getting food from like
no, I keep
fancy
missing the
Starbucks.
food.
Oh, you do? No.
So last time Kronk was gnawing a hardtack biscuit. There's nothing left, and now he doesn't want to go back in and wake Ghost up. So he's searching the house for some.
Oh, big guy.
So
Okay, I know you're giving me the cold shoulder, but let's go out for breakfast. Grunt yes once, grunt twice for no. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, so you guys go and manage to go and get your food, and as you are paying, which is going to end up costing you 5 silver pieces a person once again, Hubris, you are very, very tired from having gone through. You're currently going into your second day, and so you are going. You run the risk of being or of taking a level in exhaustion if you wish to keep going through the day. If you don't end up trying to get a good 8 hours rest in at some point. But as you guys are finishing up paying for your food and making your way back, you actually see that there is that your house is just currently like swarmed with people. The scaffolding's been brought back up. You see that there are other people, and they're just like making loud sawing noises and hammering in different things. You see people inside of the bar room itself are currently like pulling up a bunch of rotted floorboards and replacing those, and they're just making a very, very loud ruckus.
Hey, you all need to be quiet. Ghost's trying to sleep.
And they just look at you.
Well,
It's not quiet work.
As quietly as you can.
Where's the person in charge It hates me.
Yeah, you
Which
see.
one?
Yeah, you.
The guy with the plans.
He does not seem to be there today. And instead,
Who
you see
would I
that
talk
Tally
to?
is still instructing all of the different woodworkers. And then there are a few people inside as well. And this time, you actually see people that are refitting your back kitchen area. And seem to be taking down all of these very old kind of warped boards that were being used for shelves. And you see that one person is very much just shaking their head back and forth as they pull each board off, just kind of muttering, "This wouldn't be good. Nobody would want to eat food from such horrible boards," and like just pulling these down. And they seem to just be having a little clean freak episode in this back kitchen, just having to deal with a lot of the broken molded boards.
Right.
I'm gonna go talk to Tally, respectfully this time,
Okay.
because I can't trust Hubris because he lies to me.
Okay. So yeah, you go up to Tally, and he is still in the middle of instructing some people, and he's handing boards over to others. And then you approach him. Do you say anything, or do you just kind of like appear behind him and say his name like you have before?
No, I'll approach him where he can see me and be like, "When you have a second, I need to talk to you."
And he just kind of gets a quizzical look on his face and hands off the wood boards that he had picked up and carried over. Then he comes over to you and just, can I help you with anything? Do you have any renovations for a room that you need done?
I want a safe/vault. We need one. Who would I talk to? Old mate with the plans who keeps handing out those pamphlets saying "avoid me" isn't here today. So.
Yes, I would probably say that if you want to file a request, you can, and we can see about getting one into your specifications. As far as a safe goes, that seems more like a personal effect than a renovation, so you would be best finding that.
No, it's for the businesses. It's for the business earnings. Like, where are we going to keep the gold securely?
Well, one normally keeps secured gold in a bank.
Yeah, but before we get to the bank, the day's trading. By the time we're nighttime, the bank's shut at night. Trust me, I know.
Yes, but this is a bar, right?
Yeah.
So
And
it's
where
going
would
to
they
be
put their
busier at
money?
night going
I know,
into
so
a
where would they
day.
put their money while they slept before they could get to the bank?
Probably in a vault or a
That's
safe
why.
that you buy
I wonder what
yourself
we're
that is
asking
not part of the major house. Because if you are getting a large vault, that is probably
Yes.
not something that is used in a bar.
Well, neither are practice weapons, yet we still managed to charge that to Fabio.
That was a large board that I attached a handle to the bottom of and sharpened
And
the
you
tops of.
asked about the training room and the dummies and all that. I hear everything, okay? Literally everything. So, pretty certain if I had some chick with a blue flame for her left eye ask you for a vote, you would fall over backwards and get it done today.
I'm not
Yes.
exactly sure where you got that idea from, but if you are looking for a quote on something such as that undertaking, I think I actually have a piece of paper here for you, and he reaches into his bag and hands
If
it.
this is that picture of me saying "Don't deal with me," I'm going to.
And he just unfurls it upwards, and you see that it is your face with a "Do not serve." So if you could
Give me
excuse
1
me
second.
and let me get back to my work, that would be
You can
much
just give me 1
appreciated.
second. I pull out a piece of paper from my pocket, and it's the crimes against the citizens. Imprisonment up to 10-day flogging and damages up to 1,000. I want to punch him.
Okay.
I don't know why. It just seemed like a fun thing to do. Actions, unarmed strike. Ooh, a +2. That is a nat 20.
Okay. I will let you add sneak attack to this if you would like, because he definitely did not see a quick pop to his jaw coming from you just going from perfectly still to super aggro.
So what? It's 1 plus my... What's the damage I do?
It is going to be 1 plus your strength. And
So
then
0, so it's a 1 plus my sneak,
Yes.
which is another 1. So only 2 damage.
Okay.
I want him left eye.
Okay.
No nose. Let's break his nose.
Okay. Yeah, so you definitely just pop him square in, Oh yeah. It's doubled your dice on the sneak attack. Thank you, Alex Writes You Things.
So that... Do I roll the dice
So
again?
roll
or
the
just
dice
double?
again, because on this show, we roll twice the dice.
That is another 1.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah, so...
I hate die rolling. It's shit.
So yeah, you go and you just pop him in the nose. And Hubris, you were currently kind of you were making your way outside to kind of help direct more people, and you just hear this loud just as you look over, and Wolf is just standing with his fists clenched. As you see Tally holding his nose, and there just seems to be blood kind of dripping down from his chin. And he just shoots you this very, very angered look, and he just begins storming away.
I told you not to pull that piece of paper out.
Yep, he just continues walking. And he is making his way to the entryway, the entry section of Troll Skull Manor, or of Troll Skull Alley. And Hubris, you see Tally now just like storming off, and he just has blood streaming down the front of his face coming from his nose.
This is literally Hubris.
Hey. And I wait. I look at Hubris like, go ahead, talk.
I'm so sorry. I will give him a stern talking to.
Oh, he's not going to talk to you.
Oh,
He is currently making his way out of the alley.
yeah. Hubris is just standing there, like just concerned. Oh,
So...
Tell him what's up, Kronk. Come on.
Kronk is just—he's got the skull face going, like, you know, Wolf's supposed to be my friend, but I like Tully. He made me a sword.
I'm gonna. No, big guy. No. Hold on. Walks over to Wolf.
Dude's a dick.
You don't attack people.
I asked for a vault to be installed. He wouldn't.
Did he have a good reason to?
He just doesn't like me. And then he pulls out the piece of paper. I warned him, don't pull out that piece of paper with my face on it. And he pulled it out. So
These
I
crafts.
thought of you, and I punched him.
Well, that's nice to know my face is so punchable. But these craftsmen were given a direct order not to service you in particular. If you have a
Yeah,
request,
you weren't here because you're off lying to everyone.
I'm gonna deck him.
Go for it. Let's fight. Pick
Okay.
this shit up.
Yeah. Make an attack roll. The entire time, Ghost is just like, everyone shut up. I'm trying to sleep.
I just picture me coming downstairs, hair disheveled, makeup running down my face, like igniting my closet, being like, bitches? Nope, I'm not Gwen.
Nope.
Sneak attack. Just claws all of a sudden.
Let me see something. I don't know. Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, I deck him in the face for 1 damage because I
What
rolled.
was the attack roll?
Well, it was a natural 20, so.
Oh. It's So use up all your nat 20s on punching each other. This is good.
Cool. You know, yesterday was we'll just attack each other because there's a ghost. Now we'll just attack each other
Because the
'cause.
ghost isn't there. Oh, so good. So good. So yeah, you deal 1 point of damage. We'll say 2. Because we got your crit. And we'll retroactively say that you got 4 against Tally, which is why there was so much blood coming from his broken nose.
Is that what I do? Just there we go. Do you really want to do this?
You are the most ginormous asshole I have ever known.
I'll pull out my sword.
Okay.
Do you really want to do this today?
Do you? And I'll pull out my gun.
You see that all of these guildsmen are just... they see the sword drawn, they see you pull out this firearm, and they all start just dispersing. And it's actually at that point that you see, that you guys actually see that Tally now has stuff stuffed up his nose and most of his face cleaned, is actually coming back with a guard. And when the guard sees you, Hubris, with this firearm held aloft, and Wolf with your sword out, you see his eyes get large, and he just turns and starts running back until he just looks at you guys, and he just starts trailing off with him as well.
You should probably run. How many guns are there in this town?
Fuck.
You fucked up, son.
As I run past him, I'm gonna like whip him in the face with my tail.
Okay.
I'd head for the sewer.
No, fuck that. I'm heading to my apartment.
As the scene pans back, you see that Kronk's ball was on the floor and a chain was in his hand. So
You were getting
I wanna know
ready.
who he-
normally he drops it, but this was like link by link. He lowered it to the floor,
Oh.
just like
Mom and Dad are
I wanna
fighting.
know-
exactly.
Who would he have helped though?
Yeah, so there is a moment of panic, and Hubris, I would like for you to make a stealth check.
$12.
Okay, so with that 12, you see that there is a group of 6 guards that are actually making their way into the alley at this point. And as they approach, you see that 2 of them, that about like half of them are going over with Tally towards Wolf, or not with Tally, but just these 3 and Tally's kind of pointing as to where Wolf is. And they begin to approach you, and Wolf, you still have your short sword drawn. And then Hubris, you see that the other 3 point at you and raise a hand out and just, "Halt, citizen! You are wanted for questioning."
Fuck.
I'm running up to my room and trying to get onto the roof and evade that way.
Okay.
Dude, I punched a dude, okay? This dude's a dick. He's gonna press charges. I don't have the money.
Okay. Yeah, so make, you just start booking it. So Wolf, I would like for you to make a stealth check. You're running up onto the rooftops?
26.
Okay. Yeah, so you managed to find a spot in between 2 buildings. And as you are running by, you see that Victor, your neighbor, was actually on his way out the door and was locking up. And as he turns, he just sees you run by, and he just like looks at you, looks back at everything that's kind of happening, and you
Morning, Victor.
just, "Oh, good morning," and like looks back to see kind of what's happening around him, and then you make your way quickly up onto the roof, and then Hubris, as these 3 have called out for you to halt, as you are wanted for questioning. What do you do?
He like thinks about running, slows to a fucking canter, raises his hands, and like lets the gun sort of swing by the trigger guard downward.
Okay. Yeah, so you are... then these 3 guards end up coming up to you, and they bring your hands down. One of them takes your weapon from you, and they put your arms behind your back, and they actually... they have a set of manacles that they put onto you.
Before they get to that, Kronk says, "So, Hubris, we still gonna go dancing?" Like, code for, am I killing these guys?
No, Kronk, no. It looks like I'll be indisposed for dancing.
Yeah, and so they they slap you in manacles, and then they begin to escort you away. After they also put a piece of cloth into your mouth to prevent you from really speaking, and then they put a bag over your head.
But before that, I'll just tell Kronk, "Hey, tell Mom I love her," and then bag cloth.
Okay.
Will do, buddy.
And it, like, they go to put the bag over your head, but it kind of catches on your horns a little bit, so they have to pull it back out and then stick it down, and you can see that they kind of just, like, stick through the top of the bag. And then, Wolf, so you have hopped up onto the roof. You are currently running through the North Ward, and with your 22 perception, Hubris and Kronk, you both see that one of these guards fumbles with his side a little bit and then pulls out a horn. And then just blows it. But you don't hear any sound actually coming out of the horn. Both of you make perception checks. Wolf, we won't have you make a perception check because, again, this is something you are going to be hearing.
This is those griffin people, aren't they?
12.
Yeah. So, Kronk, what did you get?
I gotta break open my dice. I didn't know I was supposed to roll.
Yes. Yeah, we finally got him to break open the dice.
I know. Oh, perception, my big plus 0, 17.
Okay. Yeah, so Hubris, this bag is kind of preventing a lot of the sound from being able to actually reach your ears. But Kronk, you hear just this... and you look up and you can see that there is what looks to be a knighted man on a flying quadrupedal creature that just sort of seems to be soaring through the air that finds a spot over one of the roofs. And Wolf, as you're running, you look up and you currently have a griffin rider following you from above.
When I heard the screech, I reached for one of my javelins and they weren't there because I didn't put them on this morning.
Yep. You thought that this was going to be an easy day.
Can I drop to the streets and try and find the closest sewer entrance there is? Because everything's legal down there.
All right. So we're actually going to put you into a round of initiative. As you are currently still just like running along the rooftops.
I'm a 26 friggin' sneak. I'm stealthy as.
You're on the roof, bruh.
Yep.
I'm stealthy as. So initiative? Okay.
Yes.
Welcome to the Tuesday game.
That is a 5.
All right. They got...
I rolled a 1.
Yeah, they had actually gotten a 7. So... this cavalry rider, you see actually will, it comes down to you, and they are going very, very quickly. So he is actually going to try and make an attack against you. And he is going to get a 18 to hit.
Yep.
Okay. Where is that? You take 21 points of piercing damage.
Oh, I'm down.
All right. So that is where we are going to transition away from you. You are stabilized. This is a member of the city guard that has wounded you to this point. But Kronk, you just see Hubris getting taken away, and you saw this griffin swoop down, and then kind of swoops back up, and then circles back with less intensity than that initial swoop had been. And that is where we are going to go to our first break of the evening. So I wanted to say thank you to everybody who has stuck with us thus far. Welcome to Waterdeep, the mean streets of the city of skilled hands.
Oh, Kronk does say before we exit scene, he's like, "What are you people standing around for? Get back to work."
Yes. Yes.
Oh my god.
All right.
It's so much fun being in a group.
Alrighty. So we will try and come back in 5 to 10 minutes. Thank you to everybody who's stuck by this spooky Halloween episode with a bunch of no good lawbreakers. And we will see you guys soon. All right, everybody.
See LB breaking the entire time.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this week's Mistakes Made in Waterdeep by our lovable Phantom 4. Oh, what a group of scamps. Oh, what a glorious group we have here. So, last we left off, Kronk was telling all of the guildsmen to get back to work. So, Kronk, I would like for you to make an intimidation check. Or performance, depending on how you want to project your voice. If you want it to be like kind of like angry yelling at people, or if you just want it to be that loud stage voice to kind of create a commanding presence.
Performance.
Okay.
Definitely performance. It's I was told to make sure, keep an eye on things and stuff, so that's what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
15 altogether.
Okay. So yeah, everybody, you see that there are some workers that are still like kind of just generally shook. And some of them are saying like, "Oh, I can't believe that he would just pull out a weapon. Like, that's insane." And then make a perception check.
No. I'm loving these dice. 18.
Nice. So you actually see kind of like sneaking amongst the workers. Your lovable neighbor, Mr. Froon, is actually going around and he seems to be talking to some bystanders and kind of pointing towards your house. And you can hear him kind of say things like, "I always knew that they were trouble ever since they took over that house." And then he like moves over to another group of people and he's like, "I've heard it's infested with rats." And he's just sort of seems to be taking this opportunity to kind of shit talk your establishment while it's still in the workings.
I'll start to move towards him and like pick up speed as I'm crossing the yard, and I'm headed right for Froon.
Yeah, he definitely like cuts himself off mid-sentence and then just bolts. He just runs back to his establishment.
As you all can see, he's a coward. He ran.
And they're all just
doesn't know what else to say.
they all kind of like have their hands up as you just approach them. But yeah, you just stand there looking large and intimidating as the rest of your day for the next 7 hours or so is going to be pretty uneventful. Yeah, and that is when
I go up to tell Ghost. I don't want to wake her up, but I should probably tell her that what's going on. So
okay,
I lump upstairs and I'm like really stretched out and like poke at her foot.
What?
You are not gonna be happy.
That's not good. What?
There's a griffin rider, and and the bag over Hubris's head. They were gonna punch. All right. So, Hubert, and he's trying to get at the other. He's like, Wolf punched Telly in the nose, gave him a bloody nose, and then when the guards came back, by that time, Hubris and Wolf had drawn weapons on each other, and the workers freaked out. And then there was another punch thrown, and then guards came and took Hubris after they bagged him and tagged him. And Wolf tried to make an escape up through the roof. That's when the Griffin Rider swept in.
How long have I been asleep for?
12 minutes.
Oh my god. Oh. So I get up and I button up my shirt and I'm like, what? So they both got taken away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Shit. Shit. Take me. Let's go downstairs.
Bye.
Yeah. And it was a little bit longer than 12 minutes, as you guys had gone off to get breakfast as well as had your conversation downstairs. It had been closer to about 2 hours that you had been asleep.
Okay, so at least a short rest.
Yeah, at least a short rest's amount of time. So you go outside and you can see that Tally is nowhere to be seen. And there are just a plethora of workers that all seem to kind of just be chatting amongst themselves. But as soon as that door opens and they see your visage just standing with Kronk behind you, all of their chatter just goes silent and they are just steadily working now without making a sound. Verbally, anyways.
I'm going to turn to one of them and who's in charge right now?
That would be Jacobson.
Where is he?
Over there. And
you.
he just points and you see that there is this darker skinned human man. And he's wearing a bag that you see is familiar. This is either a replica of Tally's bag or maybe Tally handed his bag off. But he is currently overseeing in Tally's stead.
I'm going to walk up to him very calmly. Jameson, is it?
Jacobson.
My apologies.
It's all right.
I've been made aware that something transpired here that was very shameful. I do apologize on behalf of us. I'm going to go sort it out. Please feel free to continue the work as you see fit. You have free run of the house. Is there anything that you need from me?
And he kind of looks at the house, looks at you. Do you know how long you'll be gone?
A couple of hours.
All right, then we should be fine. If you were going to be gone for longer than a night, I would have asked to have the key so that way I could lock up when we were done. But if you are going to be back soon, that should be fine.
Definitely before nightfall. Again, my deepest apologies to any disruption that it caused your crew.
Oh, it's one of the risks of working with adventurers.
Yes,
Things
I'm
just end...
finding that out.
Yeah. But other than that little hiccup earlier, everything should be going on schedule. So,
good.
Really, no harm, no foul.
Right. If you see Tally before I do, give him my apologies and tell him I will meet him later to discuss the matter.
I'll be sure to do so.
Thank you so much. Kronk! Kronk, let's go to the jail ward, please.
Lump, lump, lump.
Yes, and you would know that there is not necessarily an entire ward dedicated to a super jail, but it is definitely there is definitely a building of sorts. My map is over there. Why did it disappear?
No, it's all right. Oh, bye.
Goodbye.
Look at his little onesie, guys. Look at his little onesie.
Skeleton. There we go. It's one.
Meh.
All right, so
How much gold do I have?
Not enough.
yes.
Not nearly
So,
enough.
you would know that they are being taken to the halls of justice.
Hello.
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 I'm gonna go to the halls of justice.
All right, so
Justice.
Hello.
for justice.
That's exactly what I was like. I was like, the Super Friends.
Yeah. So you are make a survival check.
Okay. I was gonna be a jackass and be like, can I do it at advantage since I'm tracking a tiefling?
No, tieflings are not actually fiends.
Oh, that's true. Survival is a 15.
Okay.
But this one is a fiend.
No, he's just devilishly handsome.
Oh.
Yeah, so you it takes you about 45 minutes to actually make your way to the halls of justice. But we are actually going to switch over to Hubris. Hubris, as you are being led down, you're being led down a series of streets. And as you are kind of trying to keep a mental track of where you're going. As you know from previous excursions and just generally checking out the town, that the Hall of Justice from where you are at currently is down the high road about a mile, and then you would just take a left, and then after about 15 minutes or so, you would be there.
Are they hiking me a mile with this burlap sack over my head?
Yes, but you know that it's winter out, or it's not winter, it's getting later in fall. So you would know that it's not like stiflingly warm, it's just kind of muggy on the inside. And you can still see the shapes of people generally moving in front of you. And you are getting led down a series of alleys. They don't seem to actually be taking you down the high road. And as you're being brought around, you actually hear one of them say, "Halt!" And you come to a stop. And when you do, you actually see that the guards take off your hood and take out the bite that you have in your mouth, allowing you to speak freely. And then one of the guards actually like kind of stands to the side as you see a black leathered figure that stands about 7.5 feet tall, half orc, these two tusks kind of poking out, with his hands behind his back. And he just looks at you and just shakes his head. Just,
Well, manacles, a gag, and leather. Sounds like a Thursday night.
You know, I can just put that gag back in your mouth. I figured I would let you breathe a little bit easier, but you're not making it easy for me.
Oh, please don't. I'm awfully horny.
Weird.
Thank you.
Now, luckily, we were able to get the guards to switch out some of ours. So, they know who you are, but you still have your initiation to get through.
Right.
But you still did draw out a weapon in the middle of the streets like an idiot. So, thankfully, you didn't hit anybody. But it seems like these other guards have it in their mind that whatever it is that you have on yourself, on your person, might be related to the killings in the docks.
And he kind of leans in very close to you, and your hands are still manacled behind your back.
Are we gonna have a fucking problem?
No, we won't. You'd have to buy me dinner first if you wanted to kiss me this close.
And you see just this wide half-orc grin, and you can see that he just has these very sharp tusks.
You're funny. That won't get you very far in this industry. So you got 10, you got 1,000, sorry, bleh. Do you have 100 gold?
I've got 8. And a little bit of information.
That creates a conflict of interest. Because you have one more night on the docks.
Right. Sorry, sans that. I have a lead.
Oh.
Yeah. So, right. On the docks, encountered some cloaked fuck running up to some poor bastard, stabbing him, screaming, Daros Has Elion? Die halfling? Something like that. And then proceeding to jump 30 feet into the air and onto the rooftops.
Sounds like a good lead for you to get started on.
Yeah.
I believe when I came to you previously, I should have been more clear. I wasn't asking if you wanted to be a damn hero. You're going to be a damn hero. At least to the people. So,
And he motions to one of the guards that are with him, and you see that guard's physical shape actually begins to kind of shift and change until standing before you just looks like a bluish humanoid that doesn't seem to have a nose. It's just a very flat face and a very wide mouth that doesn't have any lips, and it takes off its armor and looks at you up and down. And then it closes its eyes and its body actually begins to shape. And standing in front of you now is a copy of you.
Fuck.
So, we're gonna have my friend here go in for you. They're gonna make him work a 10-day. Luckily, he's kind of a masochist and enjoys it a little bit.
And you see this other version of you just get that same kind of quick-witted smile that you've seen on your own face in mirrors before. Just
That's what it looks like.
And
that's why people want to punch me.
Yep. And you suddenly get like the urge, like, oh, I should punch that guy. Wait, that's me. Fuck.
You're a handsome devil.
And he says, yes, I am, and kind of like touches his cheekbones and touches his horns a little bit.
Don't do that. Not with my body.
And you see him actually like reach over and touch your cheek. He just smiles at you.
Okay.
So, we're gonna need your clothes to make this believable. Do you have a change of clothes?
I mean, I do back in my apartment.
Where's your apartment?
I'll give him directions.
Okay, and he looks over. He looks over to one of the other guards and just motions with his hand, and then that one nods and begins walking back.
Are we in an alley?
Yeah, you guys are off in a back alley.
Hubris just starts stripping.
Again, your arms are manacled behind your back.
Oh.
So you see...
Hey,
Indeed, Hubris is stripping Hubris. Yes, as the other one who had actually changed out of his guard clothes is now like taking off your boots and trying them on.
You know,
and until it gets to the shirt and coat where they have to undo your manacles, and the half-orc, as they're undoing them, just says,
Now you're not gonna try anything stupid when we get your hands free, are you?
There's like many of you and one of me, and I doubt I could get away.
Good. Nothing stupid.
Until eventually you are just kind of like sitting naked in this alleyway as this other you is just perfect, like trying on your clothes and enjoying how they fit.
It wouldn't be the first time.
And then the other guards that were there are actually going to begin. They put the bind back into his mouth, put the hat, put the burlap sack back over his head, and they begin. You see yourself getting escorted away.
So, what's the deal with blue balls?
You ever heard of a doppelganger before? Pretty useful in our line of work.
Oh.
As you can see, they possess a certain set of skills that make certain jobs easier.
I could see that. That's so weird.
They get a little weird around the moonlight, but only when it's directed from a paladin. Druid, but we don't really have much of those in the city that would care to deal with such small crimes as pulling out firearms. Or pulling out whatever it is you pulled.
Right. So, the gods were saying, well, I don't think it's the same. I think it might be like two people murdering all these half-elves. Because the first guy came at the one bastard with a dagger, and then stuck around for a bit. Another guy was just, like, obliterated from the neck up. And I don't know many daggers that can do that.
That's why we sent you investigating, isn't it?
Right. So if I do happen to appear as a bloody pulp from the neck up, please tell my mother I love her.
Glad to know your mom's still kicking.
She's not.
Still find her. But, you have any questions for me? We got about 10 minutes till our friend arrives with your clothes.
Right. So, knowing my group of poor souls, they're going to be trying to get me out of that place. What's going to stop them from doing that?
You are.
Yeah, right.
All you gotta do is just meet up with your friends. Stop them before they get there. Let them know that everything's fine. It was a big old damn misunderstanding.
Oh. Did I know that Wolf got speared on the roof, or was I...
You you already had everything on. You saw Wolf run away, but you didn't see him get speared or harmed in any way.
Well, I know the guards were chasing after him. There was the other guy. One of my other friends got caught too. I don't think showing up in the god place as myself after serving time is a good idea.
No, you're not gonna be able to go.
Yeah.
Talk to the guards. Not for at least a 10-day.
I think I'll.
As for your friend, based on what these other capable individuals told me, he's looking at obstructing justice. He is looking at bringing out a weapon in the middle of town, and he's also looking at assaulting a guild's member.
That comes out to how much?
Probably more than you and your friends have on you, and definitely more than Istrid would be willing to lend you.
Fuck.
So, hope you got plans for the next 10, 20 days at most. 15 if he's on good behavior, but
so 20
knowing
days.
Conrad, it's probably going to be closer to 25.
I still can't believe his name is Conrad.
It's a name.
Yeah. He went around calling himself Wolf. What's that, like second lowest on your totem pole?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what I am.
Sure.
I don't follow those rules.
Ooh.
You want to know how this guild got started here? My friends and I would all raid liches' tombs. We were called the Doom Patrol, because a lich's lair is known as a doom. And that's how we made our living.
Well, fuck.
So, what you have is vipers, wolves, whatever the hell else there is, including dreadlords. Then there's me. So if you want to fuck with me, just remember, I don't call myself a Doom Guide or a Doom Lord. I am simply Ziraj, and it'll be best to remember that.
Oh, Siraj.
And as he does, you see that guard kind of come back and nod to Ziraj and hand you your clothes.
Cool.
And and then he just kind of looks you over.
I have one more night on the docks.
Yes, I do.
Remember, big damn hero.
And then he turns his back away from you and just begins walking away, and you see him just pop into an alleyway.
I start changing.
Okay, and the guard that was there with you just kind of looks at you and then turns around and walks away.
It's 5 silver for the show.
He just gives you the bird as he walks away over his shoulder.
I'll take that too, I guess.
Yep. Hubris, by the time that you are finished putting your clothes back on, you make your way out to the city streets. And it is at that point that you actually see Ghost and Kronk walking down the high road towards the halls of justice.
Okay, just follow my lead. We'll do the grieving fiance, okay?
Gotcha.
Okay.
I'm gonna pop up next to them and go, well, I'd much rather go for the dead heiress.
Did you break out? How stupid are you? And I'm gonna smack him across the face.
Just like, no.
I'm wearing a gauntlet.
So you just smacked across the face, like stops, turns. No, I did not break out.
And I push him back into the alleyway and push him up against the wall. Then what are you doing out looking like yourself?
They let me out on... there was a big misunderstanding. They told me I could go after I explained the situation.
I fill the alleyway and like lean up against the wall, like keep moving, people.
Yep.
Nothing to see here.
Shakedown, security.
Tell me everything.
Okay. So we got to the god place, and the guy Duda said, "Oh, what happened?" And I said, "Oh, so Tally got punched in the face by this asshole, and so I defended Tally's honor by punching him in the face, and things got heated, and there was a misunderstanding, and I paid a fine, and yeah."
I'm gonna roll an insight check because I don't believe this bitch.
Mm-hmm. Make a deception check, Hubris.
Oh, you could also see that his tail is curling up around his waist. So you can make a perception check on that.
Insight?
Yeah.
22.
Great. Oh, wait. Jeez. What happens when we tie?
Because your tail, as you have pointed out, is your liar's quirk. Ghost, you almost believe him in that it was a huge misunderstanding and that he's paid off the fine and he was defending Tally's honor. And then you see that his tail has kind of wrapped itself around his waist. And it's wrapped itself around once, and then on the second way around, you can just see kind of like flicking in his pocket, just nervously tapping against his waist, the tip of his tail.
Kronk's got this alley covered, right?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna invoke my blood right,
Oh dear.
Okay.
and I'm going to. I have a claw on the brick wall behind him, and then a claw on his shirt, and I'm just going to crush the brick behind him. Use your ward very carefully.
Zentarum agents busted me out, sent in some doppelganger fuck who looks like me. He touched me really weird. He's gonna serve my 10-day.
Do not lie to me again.
Though I was defending Tali, if that means anything. Wolf's an asshole.
I don't care about Wolf. I don't care about Tally. Do not lie to me again.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, if he does, can I like snap his horns off and make drinking cups?
No.
Yes.
Oh god. Okay.
I'm going to crush the brick wall and like push off and turn off my claws.
But yeah, information. Wolf is gonna be in there for a while, like 20 days hard labor.
Are we going to get him out? I have to get him out.
Do you have the gold?
How much?
From the quote, let me see.
Yes, you guys, you would know that for
Carried
hampering
5.
justice, it is 200 gold piece or hard labor up to a 10-day, which Wolf did when he ran away from the guards asking him to halt. And you would know that assaulting a citizen is imprisonment up to a 10-day, flogging, and damages up to 1,000 gold pieces. And then
Let me just
for
look through
generally
the list
disturbing the peace, there is a 25 gold piece edict.
They never said halt to me, in my defense. They said halt to Hubris.
Shut up, Barry.
I just got impaled.
They spoke with the spear.
I knew about the 1,000 for punching Tally, and it was worth it.
And brandishing weapons without due cause is imprisonment up to a 10-day and or a fine of up to 10 gold pieces.
Unless you have 1,250 gold stuffed somewhere in your bodice, he's fucked.
My gauntlets just, you can hear them scraping against each other as I'm clenching and unclenching my hands. Go back to the house. Now. Hide yourself. I will deal with you later.
Snap of the finger, skin and clothes turn red.
Okay.
Ugh.
Oh, you thought you were in the doghouse before.
You stood me up and you got arrested?
You punched our best friend Wolf.
Yeah, so Hubris, you make your way back to Troll Skull Manor, and nobody seems to pay much attention to you or notice you really, as you have changed your skin color to red and are just like hiding in plain sight while you make your way back to the house. And Ghost and Kronk, you guys make your way to the Halls of Justice. And you see that there is a large foyer, and towards the back you can see that there are several guards that look more like they are on clerical duty. They seem to just sort of be filing out paperwork. And there's two of them that are behind the counter. There seems to be one. There is one halfling woman who is currently writing out on a piece of paper, and then you see that there's a dwarven man who just sort of seems to be like paper sliding over, stamp, moves paper, and Ghost, there's something oddly familiar about this whole clerical process going on in front of you, but you can't really place your finger on it.
Okay, cool. I'm going to gather myself and walk up to the desk very calmly, but very like, I am here. I would like to speak to someone present.
Okay. Who are you going up to? The dwarf or the halfling?
The halfling.
Okay. And as she finishes writing,
Oh, what can I do for you?
Hello. I'm terribly sorry to bother you, but someone I care about very dearly was brought in today, and I just don't know what happened, and I need to speak with someone.
Well, I'm here to listen if you need be.
maybe there's been some mistake. What do you know the name of the person that got arrested?
I do, but I don't know if the person who arrested him knows his name, because I heard he was attacked by griffins.
Oh, the runner.
What happened?
Well, he tried to run away from assaulting a reputable member of the Woodcarvers Guild by climbing up onto the rooftops of the North Ward, and then continued to try and run away. And so our griffins stopped him and have brought him in. Don't worry, he is patched up. He's definitely fine. But we kind of had to get him to stop, as he did not look like he was going to. He didn't look like he was going to put the brakes on his legs anytime soon.
He is very stubborn.
So are
Is
you
there any-
here to pay the bail? He still does have about 30 days of hard labor left. That he will probably be starting tomorrow, as soon as he's good to go.
30 days? Well, I'm sorry, this is just a lot all at once.
And she just kind of scooches forward this Kleenex box. Just
And Kronk does a big boom, boom, there.
Thank you, Carl. 30 days of labor. Is there anything that we can do? What is fine?
Well, let's look here at the writ of conduct.
and he actually had one of them on his person when we found him. So he seemed to know full well what he was doing.
Oh, he usually follows the law as well as he can. He's a poor soul. He's a fixer-upper, if you will.
He's my broken bird.
He's a broken bird.
Yeah. So
Well, let's see here. We have brandishing weapons without due cause.
which is currently being looked at for a fine of 10 gold pieces.
Okay.
So that can get knocked off.
Okay.
And then we have hampering justice by trying to run away. And that is going to be 200 gold and a 10 days worth of hard labor.
Oh my.
Which, if you don't have the money to put down on that 200 gold, that's what he'll be working to earn back in his hard labor. So we have 1 10 day plus 200. And then we have... Let's see. We also have assaulting a citizen, which is imprisonment up to a 10-day, flogging, and damages up to 1,000 gold pieces. So, if you happen to have 1,000 gold pieces, then we can already put that down. But until then, he is still going to be working yet another 10-day, so we'll put him down for another 10-day. And let's see here. Does what else does he have on his sheet? And disturbing the peace, which is a 25 gold piece fine. And we will be sending your establishment a write-up, kind of detailing the disturbance of the peace that occurred, just so that way you are aware and we don't have to go through that particular process again.
Will this reflect poorly on the business?
Is he an employee?
We don't even have it up yet. There's no... I mean, we're just trying to fix up the building. There's nothing open yet. We haven't filed any paperwork.
Well, if nothing's open yet, I don't see how it could possibly harm the business, as long as you don't employ him.
Okay.
Or have him loitering around the establishment.
Right. Noted. Well, I can pay the 10 gold. I have 10 gold on me.
All right, which just leaves us with the remainder of 1,225 gold pieces and 20 days hard labor and flogging.
Can I see him?
You could, but he's still currently asleep. He took a pretty nasty lance wound to the side. Which, to be fair, we might just forego the flogging, seeing as he took a sizable amount of damage trying to leave. But that's still up for debate. I'm just a desk worker. I don't make the policies here.
No, I understand and I appreciate you. But maybe if he hears my voice, he'll wake up.
Possibly.
Could I see him, please?
She kind of like looks at you, looks at Kronk, looks at the dwarf, and the dwarf just holds up four and gives her like 4 fingers and gives her a silent nod. She's like, okay,
I'll be right back, and then we can escort you down to make sure that you can see him before he heads off to the hard labor camps.
You're so kind.
Well, just because we have to be just doesn't mean we can't be kind. That's what the Morning Lord always says.
And then she ends up scooching back from her desk, and she hops down, and you can see that it's just the top of her head is poking up over it.
Yeah.
And then it turns around and begins to bob away.
Okay.
And after about 5 minutes of this dwarf who's just continuously stamping papers, moving them over, he doesn't seem to be making any large words or anything, just occasionally, just like kind of sees something and has to scratch something out, write it over again. And he just seems to be engrossed in his work as he's just in a waiting room until eventually you guys are met with 4 heavily armed guards.
All right, they are going to be the ones to take you down, so if you can just follow them.
Please, thank you. Just as a note, I have detached my gauntlets and I just have my hands free.
Yeah.
They're resting on, it looks like a bustle on the back.
Okay. So yeah, these 4 guards end up taking you down this long hallway, and you can see that there's a tiefling, a purple-skinned tiefling wearing an eye patch over his right eye that just sort of seems to be like pushed up against a wall in a cell, and he looks really downtrodden. You can see that there is a dwarf who is missing one hand and just kind of has a stumpy hand. He also just sort of seems to be brooding and like occasionally like pats up against these jail bars, but nobody seems to really be giving him the time of day. And eventually you make your way down past several of these cells until eventually you just come across what looks to be a very basic rudimentary cell where Wolf is currently just set up with his head on a pillow and just a light blanket kind of thrown over him, but he appears to be sleeping.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you so much. As I'm like thanking them as we're walking down. Darling, please wake up. Wolf. Oh, Wolf.
And you actually hear the tiefling kind of cackle to himself from down the hall as one of the guards just like bats his cell. Tiefling goes back to being quiet. But yeah, Wolf, you wake up inside of a very musty cell that has open windows on the sides, but there doesn't look like there's any real kind of comfort or care that is available for you. They have done you the decency of including a blanket, but that seems to be it. But you see in front of you Ghost, who is doing her best to put on the facade of somebody who truly desperately cares. You can definitely see through the crocodile tears that she is giving out, and Kronk is standing beside her, as well as 4 guards.
And Kronk will say, "Your grieving widow's here." Sort of authoritarian, letting him know that's the ploy we're playing.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Oh, you're muted. Ah, it's not me.
How can you be a grieving widow when I'm alive?
Are you okay?
She thought you were dead.
That other tiefling fuckwit is a dick.
I know. What happened?
He punched me.
But you punched someone first, right?
I said, I asked for a vote so we could store all of our coins from our business.
Good idea.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but he said no.
The dwarf just, vaults are good ideas, and just kind of rattles and guard just,
See?
hey, cut it
Even
out.
Phil thinks so. Hey, Phil. That's Phil.
Just silently stares
And
at
then
you.
he went to pull out a piece of paper, and I said, if that's that piece of paper with my face on it saying "Don't talk to me," I would punch him, and he proceeded to pull out that piece of paper. So I punched him.
They say you're going to be in here for how many days? 30?
It was going to be 20 days, and because you had paid the brandishing a weapon, so 20 days and 1,225 gold pieces.
They told me that I tried to pay, but I don't have that much money. But I paid you your fee of 10 gold, and you're going to have to be in here for 20 days.
Well, Hubris owes me 10 gold for the candles, so you can just get the 10 gold off him.
Right. Well, you owe.
Where is Hubris?
I don't. Is he in here too?
You kind of look down the hallway, and you see just kind of at the end of the hall, just Hubris just waving at you.
Oh.
Smug
Yes.
prick.
Are there people or like right next to us?
Yeah, there are
right?
4
Okay.
guards that are standing
Yeah.
right beside you. Normally they would have sent 1, but Kronk is an imposing figure, to say the least.
Yes. 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 I think Hubris will be fine. I don't know what he owes, but I'm here to see you because you're important to me, Wolf.
Do I know?
Like, look at him dead in the eyes.
Well, that's a bit sus.
And I'm worried about you, not about him.
Please maintain a comfortable distance away from the bars. There is no
Sorry,
touching.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. There's no touching.
I'm still sitting on the
touching.
bed. I haven't gotten up yet.
This is more directed at Ghost because Ghost was like on the bars.
Yeah. You understand?
Yes.
Okay.
Just wait till I tell Hubris.
a
Ellie's a dick.
I will tell him that.
Just think, if he doesn't file charges, there's 1,000 less gold, and I'm pretty certain they never told me to stop, so I wasn't running away. And then they assaulted me with the spear, so
Well,
technically, I should get money off them.
Well, that is.
They have
there's-
already condoned domestic violence behind closed doors as well. And I did save Fabio's life, and
Honey,
I demand to see someone in charge.
honey. Okay.
One of the guards just, you're looking at him.
Ugh. Is there anything? Oh, there's 4 of them, isn't there?
Yep.
Okay.
And you are currently in the center of the halls of justice.
Yes. Dear.
So you really don't care about that Hubris?
I don't. No, darling, I care about you.
Not that Hubris.
Not hubris in slightest. You know you've always been first in my heart.
And at that point, you see 2 guards walking behind the 4 guards that brought you, and they are going down to the end of the hallway.
And Kronk will turn to the other Hubris and be like, "You're a dick," you know.
And
just make
that hubris just kind of like puts the hand on the chest and mouths me.
How much can information get me off my time
I don't.
about murders,
I don't.
Mr. Guard in charge?
I don't know. But
We
are
can discuss
working
that
on-
at a later time. But
It's later now.
Honey. Sweet,
we will discuss
precious...
this at a later time. Your time for consorting is through. We are going to be escorting a prisoner. We are going to have to
Bye.
ask you all to leave.
Please
They can
just
handle themselves.
do what they say as I'm being dragged away. Please, because I can't afford anything else. For the love of the gods. And I fold myself into Kronk's arms.
Okay. Yeah, and you guys are escorted. You guys are escorted out of the hall, and that is when Wolf, you hear, "Come along, prisoner," as they are. They seem to kind of just be pushing forward Hubris down this hallway, and Hubris, as he passes, just kind of gives you a wave, just this ha ha. But with your perception check, you notice that Hubris is actually missing the Zentarum tattoo on the inside of his arm that you would know to be there if this was indeed a real Hubris. Or it seems like Hubris has somehow covered up his Zentarum ties as he is getting escorted out. And eventually you are just left alone in this prison with a one-handed dwarf, a one-eyed tiefling, and who knows what else down the halls of justice.
And a one-eyed, one-horned, purple people eater.
I mean, that tiefling is purple, and I'm not gonna throw out assumptions, but yeah. So you guys end up getting escorted back out to the foyer of this Hall of Justice, and the halfling just looks at the two of you.
Well, I hope that was all that you needed.
It was, thank you. May the morning Lord bless you.
And you as well.
She just sort of waves you as you guys exit the halls.
I walk out and I just like wipe my tears, straight face, like these boys. We could go solo again. Do you want to do that?
Maybe.
Let's go back to the house.
I do love the house.
I know, I love the house. The master bedroom.
Yeah, and you guys make it back to the house. And Hubris, you've been at the house now for about 30 minutes when Ghost and Kronk show up. And you can see that there are that people don't seem to be taking much notice of you. And when you go to enter into the top floor, one of the workers will actually be like, I'm sorry, do you live here?
Oh, sorry. Snap. White.
And their eyes just get really big. They're like,
What?
Didn't you just get taken away by the guards?
I paid my fine.
I mean, you guys do own a house. I've heard adventurers are loaded. And they just go back to working on the house and just kind of let you back in. And then Ghost and Kronk, you arrive. And you see that Hubris has returned himself to his standard coloration and is inside the top section.
Okie dokie. I walk in the door with Kronk behind me. And I just eyeing Hubris. The flame eye is just pulsing.
You thought the eyebrow twitch was bad.
So, how'd it go?
He owes over 1,000 gold or 20 days hard labor.
And 20 days hard labor.
And 20 days hard labor.
I thought it was ore, honestly.
Not to mention the gold you shelled out for him.
I gave them 10 gold,
I have.
so he wouldn't be flogged.
Honestly, he should just let. Sorry.
I am not your mother. I am not your caretaker. I will not do this again.
Shouldn't that be more aimed towards Wolf since I'm not the one in jail?
You can see Ghost's claws just clenched into
Yes.
her own hands.
Noted. Very much noted. I am so sorry, Mother dearest.
If we are a team, then we are a team. I am sick of the fighting. I am sick of the bullshit. If you want to continue this, and this goes for Wolf too, Kronk and I can leave at any time, and I have no qualms about doing so. Do you understand me?
Yeah, kind of like a kid getting told off. He just stares at the floor. Yeah.
Kronk, do you have anything to say?
Drinking cups.
Yeah, drinking cups. Got it.
All right. This is around. This has all been around like the mid part of the day. You're going now into. Around 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Ghost and Hubris, I would like for you both to make Constitution checks, as you guys have been pushing yourselves to the point of exhaustion.
You are doing great tonight. You're my best friend. Constitution
Yes.
is 19.
Okay.
The rage is fueling me at this point.
3.
Yeah, Hubris, you are just feeling dead tired at this point.
I'm gonna stop Kronk and pull him to the side and just go. Actually, yeah. Hey, buddy, do you have that healing kit? Or a healing kit? And then he like pulls up the side of his shirt, and there's probably like this really big bruise from when he fell off the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little help with this would be nice.
All right. $12.
It's wrapped.
Yeah. Okay.
You've applied enough pressure on it.
He's just gonna. Thanks, bud. If you need me, I'll be right here. And he just like flops onto the floor.
Okay, and yeah, you have made it to like the master bedroom top layer, where there aren't a whole lot of workers. They're still going, but you have just kind of like passed out onto the ground, and are taking a long rest right here.
Short rest. We have some stuff to do tonight.
Okay, it is about 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
Oh, long
So if
rest
you-
it is.
Yeah, so if you wanted to get a long rest, you would wake up very, very deep into the night. And so Ghost and Kronk, you guys are, you go downstairs and things seem to be kind of hectic between the different guildsmen as they are debating whether or not the woodworkers are responsible for the supporting beams downstairs and in the large circular wine room that you guys are having installed, or if it's the stonemasons who are in charge of putting in load-bearing walls underneath the house, and there is just this constant squabble, and it is just you are at your wit's end with your own party, let alone people who are in your employ. So you just kind of spend your day just distancing yourself as best you can from it all.
Yeah.
And you're Yep.
I am gonna go to sleep at some point, and I'm gonna leave Kronk in charge.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, if they have any questions, just tell them, do what they can, and I will be up in 8 hours, and do not let Hubris leave. Do you understand?
Hubris goes nowhere.
Thank you. I trust you, Kronk. Thank you for being so wonderful and so reliable. And I just hug him in my sleepy state. You are the best.
And he hugs back, and then he like, hello, I got it.
Flexes a little bit.
She's tired enough that like a little tear comes out. Thank you. And she just goes upstairs and goes to bed.
Yeah, and the next 8 hours pass by without any interruption. Kronk, you can see that every once in a while when you're outside, you'll look down the alleyway and you'll see Froon poking his eye out through a blind on his shop window. But as soon as he makes connection with you, you see a look of startle, and then the blind closes as he is just terrified of this giant man who was running.
Give him the
at him.
crazy eyes, you know.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so 8 hours go by, and Hubris, you wake up from your long sleep. It is about 10 o'clock at night. At this point, and Kronk, it is getting towards the end of your regular day cycle, but as Hubris, as you are getting up, in about 10-15 minutes is when Ghost is going to wake up as well.
You're not going anywhere, little man.
Oh, what you gonna do? Pin me here? No. I know you can. Please don't.
It just goes from his face to his feet like, oh yeah. He doesn't say it, but it just
Kronk, I'm just kidding. I swear. I can't wrestle right now. It hurts.
And Ghost, when you wake up, you walk down into the meeting room, and you see that Kronk has currently pinned Hubris, and is just making sure that he cannot leave. As it seems like your words did not land as well as you had thought they would.
Good job, Kronk. You're doing what I ask of you.
I try real hard.
Yes, I know you do. And you deserve a treat. And I will take you out for ice cream tomorrow, I promise.
Sounds good. No food in the house.
I know. We have to go grocery shopping. In fact, if you want to go out tonight, would the places wouldn't be open this late, right?
You might be able to find a few shops that have stayed open, but definitely not a specialty store that you would find towards the market ward.
Okay, I'm going to definitely give back Kronk his money because he gave it to me, and I'm going to give him 5 gold to get food if he wants to at any point.
Okay.
Yeah, if I paid for the full amount of the repair there, I'm broke. So
you had like
29.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And you gave him 25, and I gave Liff the other 4.
That's right.
During the risky business party.
That's true.
So I have your 5 gold.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say, if you want to go out and get food or whatever, please, by all means, you may do as you wish.
All right. I'm worried about Liff.
I know. Are you doing all right, buddy? And I rub the table, the bar top.
And as you hear, or as you ask, you hear what sounds like the sound of industry, like wood boards being cut and hammers being nailed. And then that kind of dissipates. And then you hear the sound of what you would assume to be a large bag of money just being shaken. Mm-hmm. And then that subsides. And then you hear the sound of an uproarious tavern, and then cheering.
He's happy, Kronk.
And you see Kronk like visibly like relax a moment, because he thought Liff was gone, because he talked to him a couple times and there was nothing. And when the workers are all here, there's no floating beers or anything. So cool.
Why don't you go do that, Kronk? If you want. I would like to have a word with Hubris.
All right. I lump out and go try to find anywhere to get food.
Okay. So make a survival check as you go out in search of food. You would also know, you actually saw people bringing in food supplies earlier in the day. So you actually know that your kitchen does have food in it now.
Oh.
It may not be prepared, but I mean, Kronk doesn't seem like the kind of person who would pass off just like eating a whole potato.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. You bite into a pumpkin like an apple.
Yeah.
All right. Oh man, I love these dice. 15.
All right. So you would know that the Astral Saucer, our Faerunian Starbucks knockoff, currently has late hours. And you know that they have about an hour left in their standard business day. But towards the end of the night, they usually tend to throw out a lot of the pastries and other foods that they weren't able to actually sell that day. So you go over to that location, and you kind of talk back and forth with the person who's like in process of throwing them out, and you're like, I could eat them. And so he offers to give you this bag of day-old pastries for 5 silver pieces.
All right. I hold out a gold like I don't have change.
And he says, come back tomorrow and you'll get a second bag. And he just takes your gold, pockets it, and like just claps his hands like, job well done, me. And then he heads back inside.
All right. I try to note what time it is, and so I can come back tomorrow for the other bag.
Okay.
And then I just start mowing on my way back.
Okay.
Because, it's we haven't really eaten. So.
All right. And then Hubris and Ghost, you two are alone in the house upstairs.
Is there anything you want to say?
Sorry,
Or
fucking up again.
it's becoming a habit?
Yeah. I can't. Sometimes I just can't help it.
What do you mean?
It's a lot easier for me just to lie than say the truth. There's a lot of complications that come with the truth. And when I lie, it feels like I could just keep lying. And everything will be fine.
I had a family growing up. I had a mother, a father, an uncle, many siblings, and a twin. And one day, that was all taken from me. My mother hid my twin sister and I under the floorboards as the rest of my family was slaughtered. When we left, I became what I am now. My sister took a different path. Our species, we are very protective of our history, of who we are. I can understand your need to lie. I've never lied to you. At least not outright. I've kept things from you. But that's not how a team works. I understand that. Kronk knows my history. He's the only one, besides my sister. He knows my real name. I'm not ready to tell you my real name, but I would like to, if we can get there.
All right. No more lies. Not to you,
No.
at least.
Do you promise?
He mulls it over for a second. And it's just like a second pause too long. And it's, yes, I promise. With a smirk.
Right. And she kind of turns and then steps out of the room.
Hey, so are we still on foot, later?
Do not press your luck.
No, I really mean later. Remember, we have a thing in the dock ward.
Right. Yes.
I didn't jokingly mean it, unless you... No, you said don't. Okay. Liv, I'd like a beer, please.
And you are still currently upstairs, so you know that it would be very difficult for...
He's walking out then down.
So you guys go into the bar, and as you enter into the bar and ask for a beer, you see that Kronk already has had several beers brought to him during this time, and he's kind of having this moment like, I thought you were dead for real! Like, just freaking out that finally he can talk to Liff again, or talk at Liff again. But then a beer comes up to you, Hubris, and you see that there is a glass of... It's still in a tankard, but it's full of wine, and it gets brought to you, Ghost.
Thank you, Liv.
We need to get wine glasses.
Yes, we need a lot of things.
All right, Kronk. I haven't been forthcoming with you.
And it comes from like real deep, like.
No, you're not adopted. Well. So, and then I go into the story.
Okay.
That I've already told him.
Oh, well, from Hubris.
Yes,
Yeah. From Hubris's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So tonight, if you want to come along, I think we're gonna have to go gank someone.
All good by me.
Hey, this telling the truth thing isn't too bad.
And you see kind of Kronk's eyes kind of light up when you say we're going to gank someone, because he's kind of like been here in the house for days. You know? So, I mean, that sounds pretty good to him.
All right. So you guys exit the house, and you can see that the light drizzle that had been happening once again this evening has once again turned into heavier rain.
Son of a bitch.
And there is still there is lightning off at sea, and you can hear loud rumbles of thunder that sort of seem to be encroaching as you guys make your way towards the dock ward. So do you have a general idea of where you would like to go, either returning to a scene of crime or going to someplace new? Where would you like to go?
Maybe the streets around Shrimp and Preshaw.
Okay.
Or Presbo.
Sounds good. Shrimp and Presbo was from the first day. Yes.
We should come up with a plan.
So
Says LB.
no, yeah, as we're walking. So we walk around. If we hear some asshole yell Daros Has Elion, we round the corner and shoot whoever's stabbing the other dude.
Or we could use bait.
What?
If you turn my skin pale,
No.
fur pale,
No.
look like a half elf.
No.
Not.
Not you.
If he gets close enough to me, I can put my scent on him, or I can mark his scent, and then I can chase him.
You died once already.
And I have come back.
Do you have the scroll, or does Wolf have the scroll?
I have the scroll.
I don't like this.
You don't have a choice.
So we're going for what? A pastel or like a... I need a color here.
Flesh.
Elf flesh.
Elf flesh.
Pound
Thank
sign
you.
000 lowercase e capital
In the
F.
in the back of Hubris's mind, it's just like a hex slider.
Until you get to eventually what you think is flesh color.
I was talking GW paint. There's actually elf flesh.
Fala is a half elf, right? Or elf?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something. I'll turn Ghost into that complexion.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to assume elf flightiness, and I'm going to attempt to act drunk
Okay. So
while walking up and down the dock.
Okay, so make a performance check or a deception check. We're gonna say deception, but with advantage because you have all of this added gear on.
Oh, okay, good.
All right, Kronk, be on the lookout.
18.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you are pulling off this drunkhead look very well in the rain, and thank goodness that you have magically altered your skin rather than using makeup, as the heavy rain would have caused all of that makeup to run off.
I don't know what's scarier, Kronk. Like angry ghost or ditzy ghost?
It's all scary.
So Hubris and Kronk, I would like for the both of you to make stealth checks as you follow behind and trail after Ghost.
17.
Woo!
7.
Okay.
Disadvantage chainmail. And I even figured out when D&D Beyond, I ripped myself off for a skill, so I gave myself stealth.
Nice.
Nice.
Thanks, D&D Beyond.
I know.
Yeah, so you guys are following behind relatively off, making sure to stay a good 50, 60 feet back so that way you're not immediately on the tail, as you've both trailed people before. And then Ghost, as you walk underneath an archway that is set up in this alleyway. And as you do, you just continue your ditzy act, walking forward. And then Kronk and Hubris, from this archway, you see a set of legs lower down, and then a body lower down as this long humanoid figure stealthily drops down onto the ground, and their footsteps don't even make a sound as they come against the wet earth below them. And you see them just stand up, reach into their pocket, and pull out this long tube and just keep it trained onto Ghost.
Evelyn.
I'm gonna quick draw.
Okay. I was going to say, as his barrel is out, you see a flash of lightning, and standing before you is a drow with just slicked back hair and what looks to be a firearm in his hand, pointed out.
Oh.
And that is where we are going to end it for tonight's session.
Well, damn. I was gonna say Hubris just yells out, "Hey, knife ears!" and quick draws.
And that is where we will pick up next week, is you yelling, "Hey, knife ears." So I wanted to say thank you to everybody who stuck with us through one of the greatest mishaps in all of Waterdeep, as now Wolf is currently imprisoned for the next 20 foreseeable days. I wanted to say thank you again to everybody who stuck with us, and of course, thank you to these wonderful players. So, RJ, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hey everybody, I'm RJ. You can find me at RJustice282 on Twitter, and here on Twitch at RJustice282, where I sometimes stream and sometimes tweet about nerdy things in my day-to-day, sometimes complaining about work. You can also catch me on the Monday game as our Shatterkai golden boy, Caleb.
He lets ghosts into his body, unlike a certain Hubris that we know. And then next up is Greybeard.
Wait a minute.
Greybeard, where can we find you? What do you do?
I'm Old Greybeard of Greybeards Tavern, and you can find all my social media on greybeardstavern.com. Sunday mornings, I play Darkest Dungeon, and I love me some props and history and lore, and then Monday nights I'm on another channel, but Tuesdays I'm right here.
Yeah.
So check us out.
All right, LB, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hi, I'm LB. I have a Twitter, and I'm on Monday's show. I play our super fun, super horny friend Gwen, who just wants her friends to be happy. And not like this character at all. But she does have to be mom. I don't know how that happened. Wine aunt, if you will. Yeah.
Alrighty. And our lovable jailbird Barry, where can we find you? What do you do?
You find me in jail. And at the speed our days go, I guess I'll be out in 6 months. Because what, it's been like 2-3 days total?
It's been like 3 days.
And it's like...
Well, at this point,
how many
it's
weeks
been like
have we
4
been doing
days.
this now?
We are on episode 8. We've been doing this for 2 months.
8, so 40 days. So yeah, 40 weeks, sorry. So I'll be like...
So around
next year.
May next year, look for the release of Wolf.
It'll be July next year.
Oh shit! Yeah. So July next year, Wolf will come back to the party.
I roll a nat 20 on my breaking stones for today's episode.
Just in time for Game of Thrones, by the way. Just
true.
Saying.
Well, I'll be back in jail. Don't worry.
All right, and I am the Indoor Adventurer. If you have found your way to this channel, you probably know who I am. But if not, hello and welcome, new friend. If you would like to watch the VOD of this game, you can find us on here at twitch.tv/TheIndoorAdventurer. You can find us on youtube.com/TheIndoorAdventurer. If you prefer to listen to our lovely audio cast, that is actually a different one. That is anchor.fm/indoor-adventures, because that is what these games are to all of us. So we are also going to be having some Extra Life games that are going to be coming up. We are going to be having a lot of other cool stuff in the works. So make sure that you follow my Twitter. I'm going to point to it like Cyberwolf does, because that seems to work. And until next time, guys, we will see you. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.